What's going on, y'all? We're back with another reaction video today. Shout out to Thinking Football. Just watched a pretty informative vid of his about Bryce Young, and I liked it. If I had to choose my quarterback, I pick CJ Stroud. You know, I'm a Texas fan. That's who I would pick first. But I'm cool with Bryce too. Like a whole lot of positives there, and I think they're very close. Only reason why I would pick Stroud over Bryce is the height. That's all I have. But I think they're very close in talent. But again, like I said, I just watched his analysis on Bryce Young, and it was very interesting. And he said in a video that this is why Young is our number 2 quarterback. And I'm like, who can number 1 be? And I found the vid, and I clearly think that this is talking about CJ Stroud. I see Ohio State when I skimmed through it. I should have made it a surprise for myself, but it's all good. But yeah, man, y'all hit that like button, chill, enjoy, watch this football, and jump into it. I think some big things that they talked about with Bryce was accuracy, and just insane playmaking ability. One of the cons were footwork, and then another big con was obviously the height. So I know that there's far from any accuracy issues with CJ Stroud, but I'm curious, what they're going to pinpoint as his positives and negatives in this vid. That was a nice catch. It can. Oh my gosh! Nobody said something about the sound. Oh yeah, I did say something about the sound. Oh my gosh, that's tough. Okay, let me run it back, bro. Oh my gosh. Dog, I did not read it at all. Antonio put Hall no ound. Okay.
All right, listen up. We've reviewed all the tape and we've seen them throw in person.
It's tough.
So we think it's officially time to declare who our top guy is. CJ Stroud is our number 1 quarterback in this year's class. A commanding presence from the pocket, Stroud shows the accuracy and arm strength to hit every blade of grass, while possessing the vision and eyes of an elite NFL quarterback, able to scan the field and pick apart a defense with ease. Gaudy stats are backed up by monstrous reps, where CJ shows off a combination of physical talents and a fantastic football brain to carve open his opponents. Now, as you guys know, and as we've stated many times on this channel, nobody is a perfect prospect, and we'll get to his downsides, don't you worry. But let's start with the special aspects of this young dude's play. The first trait a quarterback must take off to be considered elite is accuracy. As you enter the pros, throwing windows get tighter and defenders get faster, so ball placement is of paramount importance. CJ Stroud is incredibly accurate at all 3 levels, able to throw with bullet speed as well as deft touch, placing the ball into the tightest of windows. He's one of the best deep ball throwers to come out of college in years, punishing teams where they fear it the most. Here against the Ducks, he's facing a quarters coverage with an inside cross pressure, and with the 2 safeties deep, you wouldn't expect the bomb to be the option here. However, Oregon has the corner to the near side down in bump and run, so Stroud knows depending on how the safeties react post-snap, there could be a chance. He shows great eyes to peek the near side safety, focusing on the crosser from the slot, and Stroud knows immediately what to do. The ball is too quick for any sort of reaction from the safety or corner, and Stroud drops in a pinpoint precision pass. Show any one-on-one coverage on the outside.
He's had some nice receivers too. I think that was Olave who caught
Michigan
that.
Tries to bring the all-out pressure, and CJ is having none of that. Good rhythm in the drop back, a hitch step, and he's launching, throwing his receiver open when he's still covered, landing it perfectly in the basket from over 50 yards away. Teams naturally back off their boundary coverage when they see this talent, and CJ has the arm strength and anticipation to take full advantage of this, throwing boundary flats with frozen ropes in pure anticipation. Here again, he reads the quarters Ducks defense, and with the corner backing off this time, Olave will run a 12-yard out to the space. The throw is again perfectly in rhythm with his footwork, throwing Chris open to the boundary with pressure in his face. This is cross-hash too, throwing this on a line for the fresh set of downs. Anticipation and throwing receivers open is such an elite trait, and it shows up again here on this clever design post from the backfield. JSN is still in the previous throwing window, but Stroud shows great eyes to read the Utes cover 3, and most importantly, trust in what he's seeing. This allows him to throw this early, leading his receiver into the oncoming ball, never breaking the momentum, letting JSN snake to the sideline. Here's that principle once more.
Whatever team gets him, I think they got to draft JSN too.
Clearing out the safety.
Like, might as
When
well.
Stroud confirms it's cover 1, he knows where to put this, firing a ball out in front of the dig for Marvin Harrison to run into. Even more impressive, considering he can't step into this due to pressure, and he has to put this up and over the dropping linebacker. Not easy. And more anticipation here to do the elite, throw his receiver open. His man is running the inside release corner, and as soon as Stroud spots the dropping defender creating a blind spot by turning, he's winding up to throw, with his man not even out of his break yet. You just can't stop that. Placement of the ball is only half of the game though. To extend into the elite tier of quarterbacking, you must understand how to read a defense, find its weakness, and dime the ball there. Oh, and by the way, you gotta work all that out in just about 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Stroud shows vision far beyond his years, knowing what coverage they're showing him, knowing where the weaknesses are, and how he's going to attack them. There are multi-year NFL starters right now who don't even get close to this. Here's a great example against Michigan. It starts out looking like man coverage, but the Wolverines will big roll into cover 2, with which Stroud immediately picks up and knows how to exploit. He's got a smash concept out the trip side, so Harrison should come open to the turkey hole in the cover 2.
I mean, it kind of looks like he's about to blitz, so I wouldn't assume that it's man. I mean, well, nah, you could, because that's kind of far to be manned up on this guy right here, because then if he blitzes, then that's an easy in route, tell you they screen, whatever. I'm pretty sure he's thinking that in his head, like, okay, either he's going to blitz or he's going to drop back in coverage if he blitzes. Pretty sure he has that in mind, so
the linebacker
I could get it a little bit. Oh, so he did screen.
Zone and follow the corner route to make this as difficult as possible. But again, Stroud throws a perfect ball.
That's
right
crazy.
The trailing coverage.
That is crazy.
And here's what I love about him. He's not just trying to bomb everything. He's going after the hole in the coverage. It's again a cover 2 here, but with the DB dropping to undercut the corner route this time, Stroud rightfully rips the ball to the hitch, allowing his receiver to make the first down. More great eyes and trigger here to exploit cover 2. Stroud has his eyes to the highest safety on his drop back, feeling the defense are dropping into zone. The safety first shuttles out as if he's going to cover the boundary, but with the post coming inside from the slot, flips his hips to follow. Seeing this, Stroud immediately goes to the boundary, dropping in a ridiculously placed ball to where only his man could get it. Against Iowa this time, Egbuka will motion from bunch to far side slot, and with nobody covering him, Stroud has a good indication this is zone. Seeing the corners immediately bail to deep thirds, Stroud knows he's seeing a cover 3 and attacks the weak spot up the seam. More elite eyes to see the defense early, and more great anticipation, touch, and placement, which allows his receiver to brace for contact. And remember, if you show him a one-on-one look on the boundary, he will beat you. Michigan State shows cover 1 man, and good eyes from Stroud immediately confirms it, throwing it up right off his last step, pressure in his face, and it's again perfectly placed to drop over the shoulder of his receiver. So we've shown some
Beautiful
great reads
placement.
so far, but what makes me confident in calling Stroud a true NFL quarterback is his ability to go through his progressions. The first gap isn't always going to be open, and the survivor.
It's kind of interesting because when I feel like when he got to this point of like the plus about Bryce, it was his ability to extend plays. The plus about CJ at this point is his ability to go through his progressions. I feel like that's my opinion. I feel like it's a better con as a quarterback. But I mean, to each his own. I don't want to feel like I'm discrediting Bryce or anything, but I just think it's just an interesting comparison to both his analysis on both of them.
At the next level as a signal caller, you got to be able to scan the full field for the correct outlet. Stroud showed this in abundance on tape, regularly scanning the full 53.5 yards, finding the space when many QBs would have been flustered. Here against Arkansas State, Stroud shows off full field progression from left to right and is rewarded for his work. It's cover one man, and Stroud takes a quick peek to see the midfield safety, and then looks to the near side to see if the goal ball is open. Good coverage has shut this off, so he then goes to his second option in the slot, but more tight coverage seals this off too. So Stroud's eyes keep working, going back to the deep safety to hold him deep in his back pedal before looking to his third read on the backside dig, immediately releasing and hitting his receiver perfectly in stride. And here it is again against Toledo, again finishing by hitting the backside dig. Let's go to the end zone angle for this one so you can follow the eyes. Watch as they go deep to read the safety, flick to check the slot, then to the mesh concept underneath, and with none of these open, over to the backside dig, releasing in rhythm and with strong velocity to hit his man in stride. It's seriously impressive the distance he's able to cover with his eyes, fully scanning from sideline to sideline between his reads. So far, we've shown these at the intermediate level, but the progressions work in condensed space too. Again, getting to his third read on this one, throwing with anticipation to his man breaking open. He checks the near side end zone fade, but it's quickly swallowed up, so he gets his eyes to JSN in the slot, peeping the safety as he does. With him following 11 on the crosser, he knows Marvin Harrison has a one-on-one matchup backside and will shake himself.
I feel like he stays
Again,
calm in the
throwing
pocket.
this before he's out of the cut, allowing him to run into the ball for the score. Here's more underneath attacking with the progressions, this time against the cover 3. The corner shut down the one-on-one opportunity on the far side, so Stroud looks to his levels concept in the middle, but the underneath zones have this all clogged up. Seeing the linebackers shift in to chase the tight end, Stroud knows his backside 5-yard in is going to come open, immediately working to it and firing the ball to move the chains. And here it is against Northwestern in some windy-ass conditions. He reads the roll to Tampa 2 this time, working his way to the backside inbreaker, and then firing a bullet into the window to get the first down. And one last time, this time attacking vertically downfield thanks to great progressions. He works from right to left, and seeing the safety bail towards his first option, he moves to the tight end. However, the safety will pivot and open up back to this, locking this off too. So Stroud
smooth by the safety.
Read, the backside go, throwing yet another beauty to where only his man can get. Modern defenses will force you to extend the play, and Stroud shows great ability to do it with his eyes, and is more than capable of producing some improv magic with his legs, contrary to popular belief. In the semifinal against Georgia, Jalen Carter is going to toss aside the guard and have a clear lane to Stroud, but CJ remains unfazed. He simply ducks out the way and continues through his reads, spotting a tiny window at number 4 and lasering that ball in before Kelly Ringo can react. With just 20 seconds left in the first half here against Oregon, Stroud will find himself in a similar predicament with his right guard getting beaten immediately off the snap. And he knows if he takes the sack here, there's no chance to do anything on this drive. He steps up and through, but the rusher is still able to get to him and start to drag him down. Somehow though, Stroud manages to finesse this to JSN, moving the chains and stopping the clock. That's the type of improv ability that wins you games at the next level. And back to the game versus Georgia, because this is the best of his improv. There's again immediate pressure up the middle, this time over the left guard, and Stroud will look to shimmy right, only to see pressure coming off the edge.
Smooth.
The correct angle is up and through, as Stroud avoids them both, fighting off limbs and getting right to extend
I've seen
the
this play. I think it's my first time
Now,
seeing it from
with
this
just a
angle.
slither of space, he throws one up to his boy, and they complete the miraculous play. When it comes to weaknesses in Stroud's game, there's a few, but no real deal breakers. His first and maybe least desirable trait is that he can suffer from a case of target lock. Whether this is trusting a concept will come open for too long or favoring one of his elite receivers to break from strong coverage, Stroud could get caught trusting too much and throwing something that just isn't open. Here's a particularly ugly snap where he just focuses in on Igbuka in the slot the whole way despite the cover 2 completely blanketing him. Trying to fit this into quadruple coverage, only a miracle throw could have solved that. And here, he's so focused on Harrison coming open in the slant flat concept, he doesn't see the linebacker lurking directly in the throwing lane. And a great dive leads to a turnover. Now, we showed great progressions and eye discipline, so hopefully this is just young quarterback problems. But he'll have to clean this up as corners and safeties are just too good at anticipating at the pro level. His second issue is when he does miss, he can really sail the ball due to that strong arm. Usually, you want your quarterbacks missing long as it's less likely to get picked off. But when you combine that with the occasional target lock, Stroud has sailed more than one straight to a safety. Here, with pressure in his face, he tries to put a little bit too much on the corner route, sailing it right into the hands of the waiting defender. I also have some minor concerns against the blitz, where teams could occasionally catch him completely off guard or force a hurried throw or poor decision. The end of the Georgia game, they really came after him, and they got him to force out 2 early balls, getting nothing for his troubles. Be on the lookout for NFL teams to be testing him with this stuff early in his young career. And the last real problem is not really with him, but more so with just Ohio State in general. Let's start with the offensive system because the Buckeyes run an extremely elongated clock offense. They use every second of the down to take in information, scouting the defense and then changing the play to exploit it. While we talk about this, I'm just going to play these plays in full time just to show you how ridiculously long they can be. And because I had to sit through some of these, so at least you have to watch some of them too, right? From a coaching perspective, this is a very clever system. They give you a play clock. Why not use every second of it to maximize your chances? However, from a scouting perspective,
some IQ and clock management.
Frustrating. Not just because you have to sit through it, but because they always seem one step ahead of the defense. This, I think, can boost the tape of an Ohio State QB, allowing a big arm to flourish into open looks. However, I think we've shown enough top-tier dimes and reads to show this isn't entirely responsible for Stroud's success, although I do think it helps inflate the touchdown numbers though. The other Buckeye-centric issue is the depth of talent Stroud has had the chance to play with in his college career. Let's just keep it real, man. He played with some of the best receivers out there, like the best of the best. Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave were first-round picks last year, and both had stellar rookie seasons. JSN is currently our #1 rated receiver in this year's draft. And Marvin Harrison Jr., who's coming out next year, is better than all 3 of them. The dude is Charizard to the rest of them. And this ignores Igbuka, who's going to be a strong NFL guy. Former #1 high school player in the country, Julius Fleming, who flashes at times, and the strong O-line that he plays behind. So his cast, it's pretty damn good. However, even with the speed demons destroying DBs, the ball still has to get put into the right place. And Stroud delivered on that over and over again. Bar some sort of terrible coaching exposure or career-affecting injury, CJ Stroud looks like a top-level NFL quarterback, with elite traits that could take him into the upper echelon of league signal callers. He's got great eyes for the game, a must-have in the ever-complex NFL, and a great arm to match, throwing with touch, zip, and accuracy to all areas of the field. There are certainly some areas of his game that need improvement, and these could be exacerbated by poor coaching or work ethic. Those are really out of the control of a scouting report. If your team gets CJ Stroud in this draft, count yourself lucky because you no longer need to be on the QB carousel. You set for the future, where, truthfully, the sky's the limit. Thanks for watching. Our Bryce Young video drops tomorrow, so you best get
the vid, as usual. Shout out to Thinking Football. We got too much else to say. Enlightening video, educational video. Yeah, one too much negatives. Same thing with Bryce though. One too much negatives. It's just I feel like his negatives play a bigger factor in the game. You know, his height, something you can't really coach. You can't coach height. You know what I mean? But I mean, you know, he has a playmaking ability. This is gonna be interesting. Interesting. I'm fine with either quarterback on my team, but we'll see. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Hit the like button, subscribe, stay tuned. Stay blessed.